I finally figured out how planes work in this mod, so I thought I'd go over how planes actually work in this mod, since everything I can find is just a tutorial on how to build a plane, but not how it actually works. I'm going to start with the engine, which is what I call this entire section that controls where the power goes and what it does. First, you've got your engines. Mine is powered through 3 caked up engines. You can power yours how you want, where engines are recommended. Um, you're going to put your power in 2 sections, straight from the engine to the rest of the plane. You don't want to go through the analog transmission. Do not pass go. I wish I had $200. You do not want the power going to the rest of your plane to be sped up or slowed down at any point or even stopped. You want it permanently at the same speed. And the basic engine speed, perfectly fine. Then you power a transmission through a cog, so you can control the speed through an analog lever or throttle lever. And by powering it from a cog, you can make it go faster, which is what lets your propeller go at quite high speeds. At caked up engines, at 11 is the max you can go. Normal engines, you can go up to 13 before it stalls. Now that your plane has power and is able to go forward, now you need to add your lift and your other controls. First, you're going to want to add some wings around the plane, just some normal windmill sails. That'll give lift. And then you're going to want these colored sections, whatever size you want, depending if your plane's bigger or smaller. You're going to want those to be symmetric sails in order to add drag when tilted. This is actually uh, uh, shafts covered in casing, so the power does go all the way down, as you can see from this gearbox. For your plane, you're going to want a directional gearbox shift, a torsion spring, and a mechanical bearing. Set the spring to 45 and the bearing to only place. The reason you want the directional gear shift is to simply control what direction it goes, and when it's not powered, it doesn't relay rotational energy, which is why you can have the power permanently on and not have your plane always moving around. A torsion spring will only turn up to the max number you set, the max degree, and then it'll turn back. So like if I tilt with Q and E for roll, it always goes back to where it was. And you do not want to place these down constantly, otherwise it'll break. If I sit here and show, when these are tilted up, that part of your plane is going to be pushed down, which is why you put your altitude in the back. When that back is pushed down, your front will tilt up and vice versa when tilting down, which I use W for. And that is how rolling works. If I want to roll left, I tilt that side up and the other side down, and vice versa. I use Q and E for those rolls. And for turning, you can use rolls to turn tighter, but you can also just A and D to turn that blue part. But you're going to want that blue part to be symmetric sail, even if you turn only with rolling, because those blue sails being there will make your plane more stable. And if you want to see how you dye it, let's say I grab some orange dye. You can just click a few times and it'll dye the wings. Now, the blue one is slightly different from these controls because it has a vertical gearbox. That's the only difference. I could have made this plane shorter. I could have made this plane longer. Something important to do with your plane is to make sure the center of mass is in the center of your plane, right behind the front wings. Mine is, which is good. You can add levitite to the side you want to be lighter. You can add hay bales or iron blocks or something to the side you want to make heavier to adjust where your center of gravity is. Mine happened to be perfectly around right here. Which is good. Now that I've shown you how planes work, and I hope I wasn't too confusing, I can show how you actually fly a plane. And hang on, I need to reload my world. Lag. For some reason, my world lags sometimes, but leaving the world and getting out of it fixes it. So, for your plane controls, the normal controls will be S to tilt up, W to tilt down, A and D to turn, and Q and E to roll. Q, E, D, A, S, W. And this will be how you control the plane that I'm putting the MBT file for in the description. If you're watching this on YouTube, I also putting this on Reddit, and I think I'll have MBT file link in the description of that too. You can, if your plane goes fast enough, you can even try doing a roll. I think, oh, do I crash? No, I don't. And what happens if you want to land? I just turn off my propeller, dive bomb, and land. I've got grindstones on the bottom because those are slippery, so it lets the plane get going forward when the throttle is on. But see, I just dive down and then I tilt it up and just land. Planes aren't that hard to use. Over long distances, they are probably the best overall mode of transportation. But if you want to carry other vehicles around or you want more precise control or other stuff, honestly, I think helicopters and airships might be better. They're definitely more viable survival vehicles, especially airships. Airships, I think, are the most survival friendly vehicle, but if you've got enough blaze cakes, you can power a plane, because this plane is not that big. Small. It's not that small, and it only needs 3 engines. If you've got enough blaze cakes, you can run it. I hope this video helped somebody. If it did help or didn't help and you're still confused, please tell me. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't commit genocide. Hey, thought I'd ask you to subscribe. No, I am too ADHD to ask for something that simple.